The fact that the right-wing extremist AfD rejects mandatory corona vaccination is not new. However, it now comes out that the party is planning a major anti-vaccination campaign and is investing a large sum in it. At the beginning of March, the AfD wants to organize a nationwide day of action against a possible vaccination requirement and is spending a lot of money on it. Measured against this, the commitment in the state association is moderate. Only 10 out of 16 state associations are currently planning an event in one city each, although the federal party has each offered a €15,000 grant for the implementation of registered demonstrations or rallies after a unanimous decision by the Federal Executive Board at the end of January. The funds allocated so far, amounting to €150,000, were booked under the cost center 50-100 campaigns, according to an internal party document that is available to the German magazine Spiegel. The Saarland State Association could also get a subsidy, provided that the internal quarrels are clarified there in good times. There's only one emergency board there at the moment. The party is now promoting the day of action on all channels. For a basic set of posters and other advertising material, the federal party is also investing around €200,000, as the spokesman confirms. The corresponding flyers say, for example, that the best remedy against the virus is an intact health system. On a poster motive, the AfD demands, "Check the borders, not our vaccination status." What a bunch of idiots, I'm sorry. In response to pressure from the federal government, the communication service Telegram has blocked dozens of channels, according to a newspaper report. This also includes that of the right-wing conspiracy narrator Attila Hildmann, reported the German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung, citing security circles. The closure was due to pressure from the Interior Ministry and the Federal Criminal Police Office, the BKA. The BKA has sent corresponding deletion requests to Telegram. 64 have been taken into account so far. After hate speech and calls for violence in chat groups, the federal government made contact with Telegram. There was a first conversation at the beginning of February. Telegram has a reputation for allowing any content without moderation. There are almost no restrictions on the size of groups or the forwarding of messages. Especially during the pandemic, this attracted actors who were blocked on platforms such as YouTube or Facebook because of false information or hateful content. Some radical opponents of the corona policy organized themselves via Telegram. And according to the Süddeutsche Zeitung report, there was a second meeting at the working level on Thursday. The federal government and Telegram wanted to continue to be in close contact, it said afterwards. Interior Minister Nancy Faeser told the newspaper on Friday, "Telegram must no longer be an accelerator for right-wing extremists, conspiracy ideologues, and other agitators. Death threats and other dangerous hate messages should be deleted and have clear criminal consequences." Faeser now sees the first major deletion action as a success of the pressure on Telegram. The Federal Criminal Police Office has significantly intensified the investigation, she says. There's a solar offensive on the field. The federal government wants to promote the expansion of renewable energies with significantly more photovoltaic systems on agricultural land. At the same time, nature conservation issues should be ensured. The ministries for economics and climate protection, environment and agriculture, led by green politicians, agreed on a joint key issues paper. Criticism came from the German Farmers' Union. The ministry's proposals are to be included in the so-called Easter package planned by Economics and Climate Protection Minister Robert Habeck. By Easter, the cabinet is to adopt comprehensive measures to speed up the expansion of green electricity from wind and sun. By 2030, the share of electricity consumption from renewable energies is to be increased from the current 40% to 80%. In addition to wind energy, solar energy also plays a key role. According to the coalition agreement, solar systems should become mandatory for suitable roof surfaces on new commercial buildings and the rule for new private buildings. In addition, a significant nature-friendly expansion of photovoltaics in open spaces is necessary, as the key issues paper states. As before, priority should be given to sealed or contaminated areas, such as industrial and military conversion areas, and shoulders on motorways and railways. Agricultural areas in moorland used for agriculture are to be used more intensively. In principle, so-called agri-PV systems should be permitted on all arable land and promoted via the Renewable Energy Sources Act, the EEG. The agri-PV systems should enable both agricultural and energetic use of the same area, solar cells from a roof over the cultivation of crops. According to the Farmers Association, the modules in agri-PV are semi-permeable to sunlight, so that a relatively normal harvest is still possible. According to the paper, funding from EU agricultural funding should continue to be possible, provided that agricultural use is only affected by electricity generation by up to 15%. Protected areas, grassland, arable land relevant to nature conservation and moorland should be excluded for reasons of nature conservation and climate protection. According to the ministries, peat soils used for agriculture are to be included as a new area category in the EEG. A prerequisite for the promotion is a re-wetting of these previously drained peat soils. The municipalities should be able to prescribe nature conservation criteria for all open spaces. The federal government continues to leave Estonia in the dark as to whether it will be allowed to deliver 9 artillery pieces from GDR stocks to the Ukraine. After a meeting with Social Democratic Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Berlin, Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas said there was still no official answer to the request from her defense ministry. In an interview with a German press agency together with Politico, she expressed skepticism about her chances of success. If you look at their public opinion, it looks more like it's going to be a no. The Bundeswehr first delivered the 9 howitzers to Finland and then from there to Estonia. It is contractually regulated that Germany must agree to a transfer. The guns, which weigh more than 3 tons and have a barrel almost 5 meters long, were developed in the Soviet Union in the 1950s. They can hit enemy troops or tanks at a distance of up to 15 kilometers. The approval process has become a symbol for those who criticize Germany's no to arms sales to Ukraine. I'm one of them, by the way. The federal government refuses to deliver lethal weapons to Ukraine because it does not want to deliver weapons to crisis areas. The application has been under review since the end of December. Kallas was surprised at how heatedly it was discussed. "We are a little uncomfortable being at the center of this discussion," she said. Scholz met leaders of all 3 Baltic states for dinner, including Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda and Latvian Prime Minister Krišjānis Kariņš. Before the meeting, he assured them of Germany's support. The Baltic states are directly affected by Russia's warring military activities, said Scholz. The common position is clear. We are united and determined, he said. In the middle of the Ukraine crisis, Russia and Belarus began joint military maneuvers. We take the concerns of our allies very seriously, said Scholz, and the message is, we stand by your side. That's very important to me. Well, he shows something different at the moment sometimes. The 3 Baltic states also border Russia, Latvia and Lithuania with Russia's ally Belarus. Scholz travels to Moscow and Kiev this week. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.